Peace, peace, family. This video right here is titled Sex Degradation. This video is about how sex is initially a spiritual interaction between two physical bodies and how it's been reconstructed to be degrading and make you go on a negative frequency by experiencing something that's supposed to put you directly in contact with the Creator. Now, first of all, we got to understand, what is ejaculation from a spiritual point of view. Ejaculation is when your soul, when your soul actually rises through the chambers of its energy valves, aka the chakras, and actually reaches the seventh chakra. It exceeds the pineal gland and becomes, for a specific amount of time, directly in contact with the Creator. That is that feeling of what you call ecstasy. Now, this is called the climax. Now, why is this important? Because during sex, this is why they say heaven is in between a woman's womb. Not literally. We know that you can't go inside the vagina and live there. It's a metaphorical. It's a metaphorical statement. When we talking about heaven is in between a woman's womb, it's because through sexual initiations, you are able to vibrate at the highest frequency that your soul can experience within the shell. Now, when we're dealing with frequency, we have to understand that just like the electromagnetic spectrum of the sun has frequencies, for example, red is from 400 to 480 terahertz, and then you keep going up to terahertz levels, which is the colors of the rainbow, different planes. And when you get to the top, purple is from 700 to 780 terahertz. Now you have chakras. Your lowest chakra frequency, the root chakra, is just like the frequencies of the sun. So, for example, the heart chakra is 528 hertz. So that's your fourth chakra. And then as you go up to your fifth chakra, your sixth chakra, your seventh chakra, you go up hertz. So when you get to your seventh chakra, you at about 728 hertz, or 700 hertz, just approximately and up. And then when you get to your root chakra, you at about 400 hertz and down. So when you busting a nut, basically, you are actually at the highest level of hertz that you can actually experience while in this body. And that is only invoked through sexual intercourse. Now, of course, some people masturbate or whatever. That's unnatural and whatever. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the natural way you're supposed to release yourself, which is with the opposite sex. The black woman, if you're a black man, and if you're a black woman, with the black man. So with that being said, we understand that sex was sacred. Okay? Now, we have to get back into the mentality of our ancestors when they wasn't lustful and trying to have sex every 2 seconds. When they understood that you have what you call tantric yoga. All that pulling on your hair and choke you and tie you up, all of that is European ideology on sexual intercourse. We learned that from slavery. So for women, for all y'all who be like, oh, I like getting choked, I like it rough, and I like all that, you are just exercising out. Just like when you get a cramp in your leg and they tell you walk it out, your genes is trying to walk out slavery. And what do I mean by that? Genetically, you carry information that's passed down to you from your ancestors. So our ancestors was beat, raped, tied up, sex servants, sex farms, all of that, sex slaves, all of that. And you now, while having sex, certain positions or certain sexual, the way you're being touched or whatever, or just the act initially itself, is actually invoking genetic memory of when you was abused. So now you think that you like the abuse, but really you just need to exercise that out of your soul. Because it's not natural for somebody to be trying to choke you and tie you up and smack you and call you a bitch while they hitting it from the back and pull your hair. That's not cosmic, okay? That's European. Now, yes, we live in 2016 and that's what a lot of people like, but we have to understand, at least have an understanding on why it is you feel that way. Now, getting back on point. Before we was mentally and spiritually corrupted on the way we had sex in a spiritual way. Now, what is this spiritual way? Today it can be titled Tantric Yoga. All it is certain angular positions or bodies, positions of the body at certain points invoke certain energy frequencies. So remember, everything is predicated and composed upon divine proportion. Now, what do I mean by that? Your leg, when it's straight, is at a 180-degree angle. But when you bend it, like let's say if this is a leg, now it's at a 45-degree angle. If you turn it, it could be at a 90-degree angle. So the point I'm trying to make is a woman's legs, depending on the way you turn her, you regulate cosmic energy flow. So now all these different yoga positions and all of this, when you had sex, there were certain positions you would put your woman in order to dictate energy. So sex was used to actually manifest things. You have sexual magic. Now, why is this important? Because we're not saying sex when I say sex, we have to understand what I'm talking about. The kundalini is activated during arousal. That's what arousal is. Like a snake. Snakes be chilling. And then when they finna attack, they get aroused and they rise up. Same thing with your little wing. You be chilling. Black women stimulate you. You get aroused. You rise up. But that arousal is actually just your kundalini energy. And what you're supposed to do with that energy is channeling it up your spine to the pineal gland and put your intent into the cosmos. So a lot of times, tantric yoga, you don't even bust a nut. You're not even allowed to ejaculate. You're just supposed to breathe. You're supposed to breathe in and breathe in your nose, out your mouth at the same exact frequency and time as the woman you're with, and y'all supposed to match each other frequency. And once y'all feel y'all kundalini raising, y'all go do what y'all do with the energy. That's what sex was used for. Or at another point in time, as I broke down in one of my earlier videos, at certain times of the year, in order to reincarnate certain souls, sex was had at certain locations of the planet Earth to call upon and re-manifest certain spirits. This is why we can tell, like, when you're born. Like, for example, the woman carries the child 9 months, for 9 months, and then she has it. So we know that if you want a child to be a certain zodiac sign, for example, if the earth is being colonized and it's at war, then we need some Aries and some Scorpios. So therefore, whatever month Aries is in and Scorpio is in, you go 9 months before that and you have sex, because you know that 9 months after that, the child or the soul that reincarnates and comes out as your child is going to have that energy property. So sex was used to call up to intellectually choose what type of souls and energies was placed on the planet Earth, as well as to manifest things, but also in order to connect with the Creator. So the woman was looked at not only as the Most High, and when I say the Most High, I don't mean in an ignorant way for immature people who think I'm talking about bow down, kiss my feet, and be my slave. No, we understood that she was the first human on the planet to inhabit earthly existence, and that she is the portal between the spiritual and the physical realm. And we understood that the eureka feeling, the highest level of frequency, the most pleasant feeling in the world, was achieved through her. So we respected that. We respected the womb. This is why the Ankh, even in Egypt, is the womb. The little loopy part is the vagina. The two little 180-degree latitude lines, those are the ovaries, and then the bottom is the penis. So we understood that the woman is who gets you on your highest level of divinity. Sex was sacred, and it's been made non-sacred, and now we've been taught to lust. So now we seek the highest level of divinity in the lowest form. So now we look at the black woman, instead of saying this is a walking temple, this is a walking cosmos, this is a walking goddess. Now it's just a bitch with a fat ass. You see how the meaning just switch? See how the frequency just switch? Instead of this is my queen, this is my portal of life, this is just a bad bitch. Like, it's all energy signature. It's all frequency. We've been manipulated by the European to devalue our power. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, go watch my video, Ancient Feminine Energy or Ancient Feminine Power, and you'll understand what the point I'm going at with that, if you need more understanding. But the point I'm trying to make is sex, it was initially sacred. And it's not a degrading thing. We've been taught to make it degrading. And now why is it important? Because this also severs the relationship between the black man and the black woman. Because if you see the black woman for sex through just the physical, then you would never develop or cultivate a spiritual relationship with your woman. And you'll get bored and your shit gonna fall apart. Because you're not interacting with her for the correct reason. You're interacting with her strictly to get a feeling out of her, instead of understanding that this is the portal that you are supposed to be using to draw life, and this is the portal that you're supposed to be using to upgrade your spiritual power. That is what the black woman is for, as well as an abundance of other things. But when it comes to sex, those are the main two reasons. Sex with the black woman is supposed to upgrade your soul, not to just help you bust a nut and then go home and play 2K with your silly ass. So we got to understand, we are living in a European mind state. We have to break the motherfucking chains off our brain. You got to break them, because we're not going to ride. We keep saying we the gods and goddesses. You don't even understand how to interact with each other as a god or a goddess. So we have to get back to the root. We have to get back to the source understanding of who it is and why it is we do what we do. So, I mean, who it is that told us to do what we do and why it is we do what we do. So with that being said, stop sexually degrading each other. We have to sexually uplift each other. Before you have sex with somebody, you should understand that you finna transfer souls with this person. This is why, like, for example, before I even go on, I want to go on the side note and say, when I'm dealing with the frequency, understand that sex is the number one subconsciously, the feeling of busting a nut is the number one subconsciously sought after feeling in the world. There is nothing in the world better than ejaculating. Now, why is this important? Because you got to understand, when you do that, you're refreshing your soul. Yes, it drains you and you lose energy, but it's like putting your soul in a washing machine. I don't care how mad you is. You can get your house burned down. Your kids can die. Like, you can go through a tragic loss and be upset. Bust a nut and see how you feel. See if you might get mad again, but after you bust that nut, you got about a good 10 minutes of just not giving a fuck. So the point I'm trying to make is sex is a spiritually cleansing act, and you're supposed to use it to connect with the Creator. You're not supposed to just be ejaculating all fucking day because that's what you want to do. You're supposed to be trying to use that shit to elevate your frequency. Now, why is it important? Getting back on point. We got to understand that when we dealing with intimacy with the black man and black woman, that's your portal. And you're supposed to use that to elevate yourself as a God, but connect with the Creator and the Most High to invoke what it is you want in this reality. So the point I'm trying to make is when we stay disconnected from ourselves, when the black man and the black woman is disconnected from ourselves, it's done on a sexual level. First, the first level of distorting the image that we have on ourselves and paying attention to ourselves, we are first sought to sexually predatorize each other. The first thing you're taught about a black woman on TV is look at the ass, look at this. Even when you watch movies, they always pan the camera at the woman from the feet and then make their way up instead of their head down, because it's subconsciously teaching you to sexualize, sexually deify the female image. So when we go back to speaking about the subconscious, the reason a lot of people subconsciously just trying to have sex is because you're trying to escape pain. Once again, like I said in my video, energy addiction. You don't do shit because you just want to do it. You do it because the energy that you do is refreshing. When you look at young kids, a lot of young kids, if you look at the majority, matter of fact, I like to say, the majority of people I know who have sex and just is fucking like rabbits, they in the hood. They're in a crazy situation. When you look at people who got self-discipline and they be chilling, they don't really be stressed the fuck out. They don't really be going through too much. Now, I'm not saying that excludes and just saying it's impossible for people to be out here loose with their genitals or their womb because of a certain upbringing. But what I want to say is, let's just be real here. In the hood, in the ghettos where we live, black people, our kids is fucking like rabbits, and some of our parents and grandparents are still fucking like rabbits. And look at them. Look at what they go through. They're oppressed. So an outlet for them to actually, the only time that they actually get to feel happy and be void and free of care is at the point of ejaculation. So they seek ejaculation. So now you got to look at the science and look at the way the environment is constructed. Put these niggas in a stressful situation and then sexually educate them or sexually miseducate them upon themselves and see what they do to seek salvation inside themselves. So now we just looking to drink, smoke, and fuck. And this is why. Because it feels good. Because anytime we're not doing one of the three, we don't feel good. So that's not nothing wrong with having sex, but understand what you're supposed to be trying to have sex for, and understand when you're not supposed to be trying to have sex, or sometimes when you want to, understand why it is that you want to at that time. You might just be trying to run from a problem. Seriously. So the point I'm trying to make is sexual degradation of the black woman will stop only once you re-understand who the fuck she is and who you are. And then for two, when you clean up the environment. Because once you clean yourself up internally, you won't be seeking something external to try to fill a void that it can't never fill. And when you understand that you are God and you believe that in your soul, because that's who you are, then you're going to treat yourself like that. So it's impossible for you to look at the black woman and say, this is my portal of life. This is my elixir. This is where I get my strength from as a black man. And this is who raises my kundalini energy up when I need it. If you don't look at yourself as somebody who needs to have their kundalini raised so that you can be a god upon the planet Earth and build and fix your motherfucking planet, you're not going to think like that. If you think you a nigga from 117th Street, so it's two different frequencies. It's two different mentalities. So understand that until we actually re-unlock and allow the God mentality to pervade and reinfect our mind, and reinstall our mind correctly, you would never look at your environment the way you supposed to, because you don't look at you. You only look at your environment the way you look at yourself. I'm going to give you an example. If you a nigga who sell drugs and you rob people, when the police ride by, you're going to get nervous. If you a nigga who a good citizen and you go to work and you don't do nothing illegal, when the police ride by, you're not going to give a fuck. Why? Because your environment is being analyzed by how you analyze yourself. If you somebody who is clean and you like to clean things up, if you go in a dirty ass house, the first thing your mind is going to say is, this a dirty ass house. If your house is already dirty and you don't clean up, when you go in a dirty ass house, it's not going to bother you. Why? Because you analyze your environment the way you first see yourself. So until black men, we start to see ourselves correctly, you would never see the black woman correctly. Until you see yourself as God, you would never see the black woman as God. Because you don't fucking have a correct understanding or relationship with your own fucking self mentally. Same thing for you, black woman. Until you understand that you are the portal of life. You are the gateway of life. When the soul wants to reincarnate, it has to come through you in order to get a body and to have a physical experience for a temporary amount of time. Until you understand that you are that doorway, then you will keep allowing niggas to treat you like you motherfucking Trina or Little Kim, because you don't understand that you are a cosmic interdimensional gateway. So until you wake up and say, me as a black woman, I am a cosmic interdimensional gateway. My melanin, my neuromelanin, which is produced in the neuromelanin nerve tract of my brain, it has neurons in it which connect the electrical signals of my thoughts to the solar system. Until you understand that shit, black woman, you gonna keep letting niggas treat you like you ain't shit, because you understand yourself to be worth that. So the point I'm trying to make is, sex has been meant to degrade the black woman in order to degrade the fucking entire race of our people and keep us powerless. So with that being said, this video corresponds with my video Ancient Feminine Energy or Ancient Feminine Power. Go watch it. This video corresponds with that. Understand that sex is sacred and is meant to raise your kundalini frequency. It's meant to raise your power. It's not meant to just help you temporarily escape a problem. It's not meant to help you temporarily feel satisfied because you busted nut. And you exchange souls with somebody. When you have sex with somebody, at the time, and women, listen to this, because y'all the ones that carry children. And y'all can be like, oh, my kid's bad as hell. Who's the father? Because you have a piece of that man's essence. When you have sex with somebody, black man too, because some of these women is not right. With that being said, spiritually they're not right. When you have sex with somebody, when you ejaculate, your souls exchange energy. Everything I am. If I'm a rapist, a liar, a thief, all of that's in me. This is why virtue is important. It don't matter how much money somebody got. It's a matter about their virtue. Because when you ejaculate, they don't got to get pregnant. When y'all ejaculate and y'all feel that climax and y'all kundalini raise, y'all actually trade spiritual data and spiritual energy. So why is it important? Because all that I am, I will give a piece to you. And all that you are, you will give a piece to me. And if you need more understanding on this, I made a video a couple months back called Sexually Transmitted Entities. Go watch it. Now, without keeping it kicking forward, you don't want me giving you no shit that you're not. If I'm a liar and a bitch ass nigga and I'm not shit and I don't got no virtues and I'm a thief and I'm a scumbag, why would you allow me to give you a piece of my soul? If she's scandalous, she's treacherous, she's a setup artist or whatever females are these days, why would you allow her to give a piece of her soul to you? So is actually in taking a piece of somebody's soul that's negative worth a temporary ejaculation? So ask yourself, you have to understand, when you at the time of ejaculation, you are opening up all portals to yourself. You are actually not just emitting frequency, but receiving frequency. So understand that you need to be protecting yourself of what type of energies you receive. You can't just be having sex with any damn body, because you don't know what people do. You don't know what people do in their spare time. And then when you go back home, and your fucking whole your life been fucked up for like 2 weeks, and you can't understand why everything going wrong, it's because of that one night stand your ass had with that girl. You don't remember her name because she done gave you all of her demonic energy and her demonic entities. So with that being said, family, and if you need more understanding, like I said, on sexually transmitted entities or how people can carry demonic spirits and transfer them to you during sex, go watch my video titled Sexually Transmitted Entities. But with that being said, understand, family, sexual degradation is not by accident. This is by purpose. You should be preparing to have sex with your woman. And not only is sex being psychologically degraded, the Caucasian has biologically degraded sex. Every disease on the planet Earth is man-made. There was no such thing as no disease in Africa. Every disease that exists in Africa today and that exists in the world came from the European. And I'm saying every disease, not 95%, every fucking one. There's not one disease on the planet that exists without the Caucasian either giving it to us or creating it in the lab. Once upon a time, you had 4 or 5 wives. You was able to have sex. Woman might have had 2, 3 husbands, polyandry, able to have sex, repopulate the planet Earth, no problem. Nobody even thought about a condom. Now, shit, your whole shit might fall off. So, understand that we are being attacked on a sexual level as well, because this is where our power lies. So with that being said, family, we have to clean it up. We have to stop sexually degrading ourselves, family. And when we do that, we're going to rise back into power. But if we can't do that, we're going to stay weak and we're going to stay lustful. And it's not good to be lustful, because not only is being lustful negative, but when you lustful, you understand that that's an emotion or a trait that only exists in the root chakra. The root chakra is the lowest level of your frequency. So the root chakra is a double-edged sword, because you get all your power from there. But if you exist within it, instead of using it to exist for you, then now you become trapped in negativity. So it's just like fire. Fire is good because it keeps you warm. You clean shit with it. It gives you light. But if you touch it, it's going to burn your ass. So fire is good for you until you in it. Same thing with the root chakra. It's good for you long as you using it. But if you in it, it's going to destroy you. So we have to stop sexually degrading ourselves, family. And without making this video too long, black women, start perceiving yourself correctly, and your environment will reflect that. Black men, start perceiving yourself correctly, and your environment will reflect that. And with that being said, stop the sexual degradation of our black men as well as our black women, and let's rise back to the occasion of who we're supposed to be. Peace.